Welcome back. Today we're going to replace the control arms on the 2009 Vauxhall / OPEL Combo 1.7 litre diesel. Stay with me. I will start with loosening off the ball joint. I've applied some WD-40 and then I'm using a breaker bar and a 17mm socket to loosen it off. Then I'm switching to ratchet to make my life a lot easier. I'm checking the bolt on the other side with my hand to see if it's spinning around, and it looks like it's still holding, so I'm carrying on ratcheting away. At this moment I realized that the bolt has started spinning around, so I decided to take another ratchet with a 17mm socket to hold it firmly in place so I can remove the nut. Luckily the bolt is not very rusty and is coming off very easily. Applying a decent amount of WD-40 prior to this assembly made things a lot easier. I'm applying a secret persuasion technique to the bolt using a patented thumb detector. Next we need to remove the bolt that holds the control arm in a bushing. The bolt had started spinning around again, so I grabbed another socket to prevent that from happening. You might notice that I have removed the anti-roll bar links, which you don't need to do in order to change the lower control arm. I have made a video on how to replace the anti-roll bar links, which you can check out here. I have also removed the track rod ends, which again you don't need to remove to change the lower control arm. I've made a video about that too, which you can check out here. I apologize for the wind noise, but this was an ad hoc job and the only thing I had on me was my camera. I'm using a swing press to tap out the bolt that holds the control arm in a bushing. And there's one last bolt that we need to remove, which is located right behind the tie rod. This is quite awkward to get to because there's not very much room to put any tools on the locking nut. I'm using a pry bar to separate the ball joint from the wheel hub. There are specialized tools for this, which I don't have access to actually, hence this proves to be a little bit challenging. But there's nothing that can't be solved with a little bit of elbow grease and determination. Using the pry bar wasn't working very well, so now I switched to a ball joint separator. And now I'm switching back to the pry bar again. It wouldn't budge, so back to the ball joint separator. Give it a couple of good taps. And one more tap. It can be a bit of a pain in the butt, but it all worked out in the end. Installing the new control arm can be quite fiddly. Growing an extra pair of hands or having someone to help you out can save you a lot of time and hassle doing this. Itt kintivel ne foglalkozzál. Így. Oda be. Oda befelé. Azaz. Jó? Adj egy dolgunk. I'm using a drift punch to align the holes so I can insert the bolts a lot easier. Elintézem, ne aggódjál. I'm installing the ball joint back into the wheel hub. Giving it a couple of good taps with the hammer just to make sure it's seated properly. Next step is to align the inner bushing. I'm using the thumb detector again to tap it back into place. I'm using the drift punch again to line up the hole, which will make inserting the bolts so much easier. I did not manage to align the holes perfectly, but it's not an issue because I'll use the ratchet to drive the bolt home. Whenever we are replacing suspension bushes, we never want to torque down the bolts while the car is sitting on jack stands. What we want to do is just have them hand tight, then lower the car so we can load the suspension, and then we need to come back and torque everything down to spec. I'm installing the ball joint retaining bolt, giving it a couple of taps to make sure everything is seated properly. And then threading on the nuts from the other side. The ball joint can be torqued down while the car is still sitting on jack stands. You don't need to lower the car to tighten it up. That's it for today. I hope you find this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, then give it a thumbs down and let me know in the comments below why. I will do my best to reply to all your comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos. Take care, and I'll see you in a bit. Lander out.